Okay, hi Sec 2 Express students. Today we'll be going through Notes 7b, Maps and Scales, Area Scale. Now, we have learned in our previous lesson that a map scale on the left is map and on the right is actually the actual. But we have only talked about the length, which is like 1:20,000, and both are cm. What if I want to find the area in a map scale? It is actually very simple. Now, let's take a look at this. What if given that the scale of the map is 1 cm is to 3 cm? Okay, so this is the map scale, 1 cm to 3 km. 1 cm is on the map and 3 km is the actual real ground. So on the map, I have 1 cm, and on the actual ground is actually 3 kilometers. We're talking about the same square, right? So this is 3 kilometers, the length. Now, length of the square on the map, it would be 1 cm. Area on the square of map, if you calculate the area, this is 1 cm, so you get 1 cm square. 1 cm square. Actual length of the square is 3 km. If you were to take a look at the area, it is 9 km square, which means the length scale is 1 cm is to 3 km. I'm going to write it up for you. So the length is 1 cm is to 3 km, but the area, if you notice, is 1 cm square is to 9 km square. This is the area. The blue color highlighted part is the area. This is 1 cm square is to 9 km square. Right, you must acknowledge that length and area are different. Okay, so actual area of the square, let's fill in the notes. It is 9 km square. So actual area is 1 cm square is to 9 km square. What is the relationship? Now, if you were to take a look, the relationship is actually squaring this number and squaring this number to give you the area scale. Alright, so it's actually 1 cm, the whole thing square, is to 3 kilometers, the whole thing square. That is the relationship. So, previous session, we only talk about length. Today, we are going to explore area scale. Let's take a look at example number 1. Given that the scale of a map is 1:35,000. Now, remember what I told you in the previous lesson, that you got to express it in 3 different forms. 1 cm is to 35,000 cm. The next is 1 cm is to, change it to meters, is 350 meters. And lastly, change it to kilometers, which is 0.35 kilometers. Okay, so we have 3 things to play with, and this will be very useful in this topic for map scales, area scales. Okay, given that the scale of the map is 1:35,000, find the actual area in kilometers square. So I want the actual area in kilometers square. Do you choose number 1, number 2, or number 3? Which one is in kilometers? If you notice, only number 3 is in kilometers. So I need to choose number 3. Of the following areas on the map, 12 cm square. But this is only the length scale. Okay, how do we convert to area scale? Okay, we draw 2 squares. This is 1 cm, 1 cm. This is 0.35 km, 0.35 km. If you find the area of the square, it is 1 cm square is to 0.35 times 0.35. That will give you 49/400, which is 0.1225 km square. So the area is 1 cm square is to 0.1225 km square. Now, I know a lot of you have this question in the mind. Teacher, can I skip this step? Yes, you absolutely can. Okay, I'm just writing this out for those who needs to understand why I square it. And that is because I need to find the area of a square to get the area scale. Alright, so it's 1 cm squared to 0.1225 km squared. I need to square both ends of it. Okay, now if it's 12 cm squared on the map, here I multiply by 12. On the right side, I also need to multiply by 12. So 0.1225, I will multiply by 12. I'll get 1.47 km square. However, I cannot just write my answer like this. Okay, I need to write, therefore, actual area is 1.47 kilometers square. Remember, you cannot leave your answer like this because this is essentially a ratio, not the actual answer. Alright, let's do part B. What if it's 4.4 cm square? Now we can directly use the area scale that we have already found, which is 1 cm square is to 0.1225 km square. This is your map. This is your actual. Alright, and if it's 4.4 cm square, which means from here to here I will multiply by 4.4, and on the right side I will also multiply by 4.4. So it's 0.1225 multiplied by 4.4. I get 0.539 km square. Therefore, my actual area is 0.539 km square. Alright, example 1 is done. Let's take a look at example 2. Example 2 is more like an exam question that we actually set. Okay, same question. The area of a forest measures 4 cm square on the map with a scale of 1:200,000. Find the actual area of the forest in km square. Again, we do the same thing. 1 cm is to 200,000 cm. Let's come up with the three measurements. Cm is to cm, cm is to meters, and lastly, cm is to km. Okay, now we have to decide, is it 1, 2, or 3? Read the question. It says, find the actual area of the forest in km square. Only number 3 gives you km, so we have to work with number 3. Okay, but don't forget this is the length scale. How do you find the area scale? You square it. Both numbers you have to square. So 1 times 1 is 1 cm square. 2 times 2 is 4 km square. And this is the area scale. You have to note that they are different. Okay, the area of a forest measures 4 cm square on the map. So 4 cm square is on the left side. You multiply by 4. On the right side, you also need to multiply by 4. You get 16 km square. That's the answer. So therefore, actual area is 16 kilometers square. That's example 2. Let's move on to example 3. Now, it says, the actual length of a square on a plot of land is 1.2 kilometers on the ground. What is its area on the map? Now, this question turns it back around. They want it area on the map. Now, before we find area on the map, let's find the actual area first. The actual area of the forest. Now, one side is 1.2. The other side also 1.2 because it's a square. It's a square plot of land. So actual area is 1.2 kilometers times 1.2 kilometers. And we'll get 1.44 kilometers square. Okay, now same, I get 1 cm is to 60,000 cm. I'll do 3 measurements again. 1, 2, 3. cm is to cm, cm is to meters, and finally cm is to km. Okay, now what is area on the map? So actual area is 1.44 kilometers square. So 1.44 kilometers square is on the right side. So it's 1.44. Wait, this is the length scale. I haven't found the area scale yet. Okay, so again, sorry, this is the length scale. I want to find the area scale. So the area scale, I have to square it. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 cm square is 2. 0.6 times 0.6 is 0.36 km square. That is the area scale. Alright, if the actual area is 1.44 kilometers square, 1.44 kilometers square will be on the right side. I need to know what I need to multiply from 0.36 to get 1.44. So I take 1.44 divided by 0.36. I need to multiply by 4. If I need to multiply by 4 on the left side, I also need to multiply by 4 on the right side, on the left side. So it'll be 4 cm square is to 1.44 km square. 4 cm square is your map, is your area on the map. So therefore, area on the map is 4 cm square. And we are done. Last example, example 4. The diameter of a circular pond in a palm is represented on a map with a scale of 1:20,000 is 4 cm. Now we have to find the area of the pond first in order for us to do this question. To find area of the pond, area of a circle is pi r square, so it's pi 2 square. If I have to press my calculator, pi 2 square will give us 12.566 cm square. Now it says the map is 1:20,000. Again, I do the same thing. 1 cm is to 20,000 cm. Change it cm to meters. Change it again cm to km. Okay. Now, the question says, on the ground, what area does the pond occupy in the park? Which means actual area, and they want you to give your answer in kilometers square. So which one do we choose? We choose the third one. 1 cm is to 0.2 km. Don't forget that is the length scale. Now, how do you find the area scale? Same. You square both sides. You get 1 cm square. 1 times 1 is 1, and then 0.2 square is 0.04. So 0.04 km square. That is the area scale. Now, the area of a pond, 12.566 cm square, is on the map. So this is on the map. 12.566 cm square is on the map. From here to here, we multiply by 12.566. So on the right side, we also multiply by 12.566. Multiply by 12.566, and I get 0.50264. 0.50264 km square. Therefore, actual area is 0.50264 km square. Now I will have to list out all the decimal places because this is an accurate answer. Okay, so we do not round off an accurate answer. Oh, it says, sorry, correct to 3 significant figures. So we round it off to 3 significant figures. 0.503 km square. Alright, so we're done with example 4. Last 2 examples, example 5 and example 6, and we are done. Now this is an example of an exam question. Definitely. Because number 1, I test you on length. Number 2, I test you on area. It's something that we teachers love to set. A map is drawn to a scale of 1:50,000. Okay, as I repeat and repeat again, I love to do this. 1 cm is to 50,000 cm. Then I do cm is to meters. Lastly, I do cm is to km, so that I can use any scale that I want to use. Now find the length in cm of a line on the map which represents a road of 2.4 kilometers long. Now 2.4 kilometers, that is the real length. That's the actual length. Alright, so now 2.4 kilometers, so part A, 2.4 kilometers will be on the right side. Now how to get from 0.5 to 2.4? You take 2.4 divided by 0.5, you get multiplied by 4.8. So on the left side, you also need to multiply by 4.8 and you get 4.8 cm. Therefore, the map length is 4.8 cm. Part B, find the area in km square. In km square. If it's in km square, would you use 1, 2 or 3? You will use 3 because it's already in kilometers. Alright? Of a plantation which is represented by an area of 32 cm square. So what you need to do is to square it. So it's that 1 cm square is 2. You take 0.5 times 0.5. You get 0.25 km square. Remember, this is the length scale. You cannot use it for area. This is then the area scale. Alright? Of a plantation that is represented by 32 cm square. So 32 cm square multiply here 32. Multiply 32. So this is 32 cm square on the map. So on the real ground, it is 8 kilometers square if you press your calculator. Therefore, actual area is 8 kilometers square. Last example. Now on the map, a length of 5 cm represents actual distance of 1.5 kilometers. So I have 5 cm is to 1.5 kilometers. So if I divide by 5, I get 1 cm is to 0.5. 1.5 divided by 5 is 0.3. 0.3 kilometers. So you see, I got cm to km. So now I want to change it to cm is to meters. So 300 meters. And lastly, I want to change cm is to cm. See, accidentally, I have already done part B. The scale of the map in the form 1 is to n. Okay, but I always want to have this as a safety net. Once I have this, I'm able to do any questions. Whether is it in km, meters or cm, I can do any question. So I always do this first in maths and skills. Alright, so part A, the actual distance represented by 19 cm on the map. Actual distance in kilometers. Would you use 1, 2 or 3? I would use 1 because it's cm to km. So 1 cm is to 0.3 km. I want 19 cm. So I multiply by 19. Multiply by 19. So 0.3 multiplied by 19, I get 5.7 kilometers. And my actual distance is then 5.7 kilometers. Done. Now part B, the scale of the map in the form of 1 is to n, we already done it, but remove the units. So it's 1 is to 30,000. The area on the map in square centimeters, which represent an actual area of 5.4 kilometers square. See, this area is in kilometers, so I use number 1 because it's already in kilometers. So it's 1 cm is to 0.3 km. This is the length scale. How do I find the area? I square both sides. 1 cm square is to 0.3 times 0.3, 0.09 km square. That is the area scale. Now, I want you to find the area on the map in square centimeters, which represent the area, actual area of 5.4. So 5.4 kilometers square is on the right side. How do you get to 5.4 kilometers square? You take 5.4 divided by 0.09 and you get multiplied by 60. So the other side you also need to multiply by 60. So it's 60 cm square. So therefore, map area is 60 cm square. And we are done with this example. Okay, if you have any questions, please text me. If not, you can pause the video anywhere around to understand a little bit more. Alright, fill in your notes, take picture of your notes and upload into OneNote for me to take a look. That's it I have for you today. Enjoy your weekend.